Finally, we are here to race.
We are waiting this moment for almost 6 months. Finally, we are here in Zolder, so it feels fantastic.
I think this year it's super exciting. So many things have changed during the winter.
It feels great to be back.
I just feel mega ready, and I've never been in such a good shape.
Now it feels like it's going to start.
271 days after Norbert Michelisz was crowned King of WTCR 2019 in Sepang, the 2020 season finally got underway after a huge amount of work from the FIA and the promoters. We started at Zolder, a return to the Belgian track for World Touring Cars where they'd raced almost a decade earlier. This very different season would comprise 16 races over 6 weekends in just 3 months, the shortest season on record. And Zolder wasn't the only change for 2020. Goodyear had arrived as the championship's new tyre supplier. Renault's Megane RS made its WTCR debut too. There'd be a new FIA Rookie Award for drivers aged 23 and below, with no more than 2 race weekends in either WTCR or WTCC. 18-year-old Jack Young, 23-year-old Ben Saboldic, Luca Engsler, 20, and Gilles Magnus, 21, would be in the hunt for the title. The WTCR trophy was introduced for drivers who don't receive manufacturer backing, reviving the spirit of the WTCC trophy awarded to independent racers from 2005 to 2017. Nathaniel Berton, his teammate Tom Coronel, Mikel Ascona this year with Zengo, and Jean-Carl Vernet, who'd switched to Alpha, would battle for supremacy. Three teams, however, would look to supply the contenders for the overall title. Chinese-Swedish outfit Link & Co. featured world champions Ted Björk and Ivar Muller. Alongside Muller in the same side of the garage would be his nephew Jan Erlaché. And there was a brand new name in the team to conjure with. Uruguay's Santiago Urrutia, the 2019 TCR Europe Rookie of the Year and an 8-time race winner and twice championship runner-up in Indy Lights. So there'd be 3 South American drivers on the 2020 grid as Honda retained the services of their Argentine duo, Nestor Girolami and Esteban Guerrieri. They stayed with Munich Motorsport in the Civics that gave them so much success in 2019. And they were joined by Tiago Monteiro and promising young Hungarian Attila Tashi on the other side of the garage. To win, they'd all need to beat the Hyundai squad, which won the first 2 drivers' titles. Joining the Korean squad, rookie Luca Engsler, which retained Nicky Katzberg and their 2 World Championship winning drivers. Gabriele Tarquini, a youthful 58, and reigning champion Norbert Michelisz. From the first qualifying session, however, the Hyundai crew realised that the pace was simply not there. Norby was the fastest of their 4 drivers, and he was only 12th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a disappointing qualifying for us. But we saw already yesterday that we are struggling with the pace, which is quite strange because from the inside, honestly, it doesn't feel bad, but we are missing something, unfortunately, and yeah, it's quite impossible to fight now.
The The only consolation for the Hungarian is that he didn't seem to have any more pace than his Honda rivals. All their drivers missed out on Q2 except for Nesta Girolami, who claimed 10th to start race 1 from the DHL pole position thanks to the reverse grid. Things were going much better though for Lynk & Co. 3 of their 4 cars competed in Q3 with Jan Erlaché the best of the trio. But not the best of all. The season's first surprise was the speed of the Audis. Nathaniel Berton grabbed his first ever WTCR pole. And so finally, it was time for the first race of the 2020 season, a 13-lapper at Zolder. Pole sitter Nesta Girolami kept Ted Björk behind him. Attila Tashi slipping past Jean-Carl Vernet, who got away slowly from the line. And as the Argentine led, the battle for 5th was on already between 3 Lynk & Co drivers. Drama came early for Esteban Guerrieri. The Argentine retiring on lap 3 from 8th place, his engine blowing spectacularly with a cooling system failure. That might well have been a worry for Nesta Girolami, especially as 5 laps later, Thiago Montero's engine let go in an identical fashion. Happily for Honda and Girolami, there were no issues on the way to handing the Japanese manufacturer their first win of this strange season, with Attila Tashi behind Ted Björk in 3rd, the first ever WTCR podium for the young Hungarian, while 4th for Tom Coronel meant he took the first WTCR trophy win of 2020.
What a way to start the season, you know. Taking the first victory with all the effort from Honda Japan, from Olink. We were working a lot this season in the long period. We were waiting a lot for this moment. I'm so happy to take this victory, and I want to dedicate for my kid first, for Isabella.
Almost 3 hours after the first podium of the year, all 22 drivers were back on track for the second main race in Zolder. Guerrieri and Montero making it out of the pits, though they would start on the last row of the grid with Nate Berton on pole. But disaster for the pole sitter, Berton creeping before the lights changed. A good start from Jan Erlaché would put him right behind the Audi driver into the first turn, as Gilles Magnus got worked over by 2 more Lynk & Co's. Magnus on the outside, fellow rookie Arusha right behind him. Jan Erlaché fighting to hang on to 2nd place. The Audi on the outside, jumping past the tyres as Muller moved up ahead of Arusha. Ted Björk was out, a tangle with Tashi and then a tyre stack. The end of his race and the first safety car of the season.
Yeah, and just confirm you got the message from Duncan about not racing Berton. Copy.
And a drive-through penalty handed to Berton for creeping before the lights changed. As soon as the safety car was withdrawn, he dived into the pits to take his medicine. Erlaché was left in the lead, but under plenty of pressure from youngster Gilles Magnus, the Belgian on his favourite circuit. But a mistake at the chicane allowed Ivar Muller to get by him. And it wasn't long before fellow rookie Santiago Arusha did likewise. The battle for 15th was raging, with Berton recovering, Thiago Montero and Attila Tashi attacking Zhong Yang in the Renault. Montero managing to squeeze by the battered black machine. And Tashi with worn tyres, misjudging the braking at the chicane, punting Young into the gravel. And that would bring out the safety car to neutralise the race just before the checkered flag. Jan Lachey took win number 4 of his WTCR career, just ahead of uncle and mentor Ivan Muller. The perfect start for Lynk & Co with 3 cars on the podium. Gilles Magnus in 4th, winning the WTCR trophy class and also taking the lead in the rookie standings. A podium sweep for Lynk & Co, and Lachey leaving Belgium with the points lead from Girolami and Muller. Two weeks after Zolder, round 2 of the 2020 FIA WTCR in Germany at the Nordschleife of the Nürburgring, the legendary Green Hell. There's always big news at the Nürburgring. The biggest was the withdrawal of Hyundai, pulling its customer teams from the weekend's 2 races, stating that the balance of performance and the new ECU system wouldn't allow its cars to be as competitive as their rivals. As the cars were loaded back onto the trucks, the FIA and the championship promoters restated that their aim is to ensure fairness in motorsport and that they look forward to a constructive dialogue with the teams. The Nordschleife boasts by far the longest lap on the calendar. There's one 40-minute qualifying session on Thursday, and this late in the year, that means driving into the darkness. We saw Néstor Girolami on his very last lap, grabbing the DHL pole position by setting a new WTCR qualifying lap record. 8 minutes 51.8, 1.1 faster than Jan Lachey in near total darkness. Remarkable achievement.
I would say it was one of the crazy things that I did in my life, driving in Nordschleife on the night without any lights. So I really enjoyed it, but I was almost not breathing during all the lap.
Friday afternoon, and the infamous weather in the Eifel Mountains in Germany welcomed the drivers to the grid. A wet track awaited. After dry qualifying, this might be an issue. Ivan Muller on the DHL pole for race 1. Two laps of the Grand Prix circuit behind the safety car would get the race underway. And then they were released for 3 laps of the Nordschleife. Muller leading from Esteban Guerrieri, Tom Coronel in 3rd ahead of Ted Björk, Attila Tashi's Honda, and Jan Lachey with the yellow strip of the points leader. Guerrieri wasted no time. Lap 1 down to Arenberg, using the grip of the Honda to go around the outside of Muller for the lead.
The move was a risky one, but of course with Ivan, with a very experienced driver like him, we could make a very nice move. He braked early. I knew there was more grip around the outside, so I just tried, and yeah, it went well.
Positions remained stable until the final lap when Ted Björk attacked Tom Coronel for 3rd position. Björk making a little contact but squeezing through. Ted going up to 2nd place, and Jan Lachey pouncing as well, moving up into 3rd. And on the straight, Björk dropping back. Guerrieri miles away, Muller in 2nd, Björk handing 3rd at the line to Lachey for maximum championship points as Guerrieri claims his 1st win of the season. A new day, same old weather. Wet, drizzly, air temperature 7, 95% humidity, and the track barely above freezing either. Néstor Girolami starting from the DHL pole position, points leader Lachey sharing the front row. Once more, 2 laps behind the safety car of the Grand Prix circuit before they are released for the 3-lap race. Girolami holding the lead from Lachey. Tashi again in 3rd, Ted Björk in 4th position. But the Honda driver not hanging on for long. Race control announcing that the pole sitter for the second weekend in a row for the main race is under investigation. In the end, it became evident that the regulations allow for 2 reconnaissance laps and 1 pass through the pit lane heading to the grid. By mistake, Girolami completed 3 reconnaissance laps, passing through the pit lane twice. A penalty was due. But not before Jan Erlaché made his move at the end of lap 1. In race 1, the Honda had the grip advantage. Setup changes overnight had reversed that. Lynk & Co had every bit as much grip as the Honda and more speed to boot. Behind, Ted Björk was putting the moves in on Attila Tashi for 3rd position. Whatever penalty would come Girolami's way wouldn't be as damaging as that of Gilles Magnus. The rookie skating off the road as they entered the Nordschleife, clattering into the barriers. The penalty for Girolami, a 30-second time added to his total race time, and he would be out of the top 10. Disaster for the Argentine, but good news for Jan Erlaché, who cruised to the line to clinch the win. A huge win for the young Frenchman, with Ted Björk in 2nd and Attila Tashi again on the podium in 3rd.
Yeah, actually, maybe it's the best victory I had in my career, actually, because on the Nordschleife in those conditions, with overtaking and stuff, it's absolutely insane. The feeling we have here, we can't compare it, and honestly, it's so unbelievable what we feel in the car. So this victory, I feel really proud and happy for all the team. It's good point for the team, for the driver championship, for everything. So just happy about it, and looking forward for the next races.
The next race is round 3, 2 weeks later at the Slovakiaring, the first triple race weekend of the season. The good news, the championship welcomes back Hyundai, and performance will change. The BOP will make itself felt. And Lynk & Co were the ones that felt it most. They knew that big points would be out of the question for a second weekend in a row in Slovakia. If Armula, Jan Erlaché and Ted Björk didn't make the cut in Q1, only the rookie Santiago Urrutia was among the front runners. Erlaché would start all the races from P15, Muller 13 and Björk 21st. Honda not much better. Nesta Girolami starting race 2 from pole position, qualifying in 10th. But Hyundai had 2 cars in Q3. Norby Mikulic reminding everybody why he's a champion, qualifying 3rd, just behind teammate Nicky Katzberg. But the greatest winners in the BOP lottery were Audi. 3 cars in Q3, and again the fastest of them, Nathaniel Berton, with pole for races 1 and 3. On a wet but drying track, there were all sorts of tyre choices. Full slicks, full wets, and mixed wets and slicks. Who would gamble correctly? Pole sitter Nate Berton got away legally, but not as quickly this time as fellow front row starter Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg on full wet weather tyres had the grip to put himself in front on the first of the 9 laps. But it didn't take long on the drying track for those wets to overheat. By lap 3, Berton was back at the top of the pile, and by lap 5, everybody was going by Katzberg like he wasn't there. Honda's Argentine duo were both climbing the order until civil war broke out.
I need to push because of Steven, or he will stay? He will go there. He will not do something great, but we need to push. Answer my question, please. He will attack or not? No, he will not attack. I've been told.
The message was clear to Girolami, not so much to Guerrieri. He did attack, and pretty forcefully at that, battling his teammate for 4th position in scenes that could have seen them both off the road.
The
order before the race was not to attack, and the chip leader, that was me, had the privilege. I have no problem to fight, but I think it doesn't make sense to fight between us. So this was a misunderstanding from his side. He apologized, and it's okay. We just focus in next race.
Meanwhile, Nathaniel Berton stroked away in the lead to take his first ever WTCR victory and the trophy win. Gabriele Tarquini a near invisible second. Jean-Carl Vernet on the podium for the first time for his new employer, Alfa Romeo. So was everything calm between the Argentine drivers? All eyes would be on them in race 2, especially because Néstor Girolami sat on the DHL pole position. He'd need the points for the championship. But his teammate made a fantastic start from 5th on the grid. As they went 3 wide, Vernet and Arusha making contact with the back of Girolami. Guerrieri had the momentum and speared through to take the lead. Tom Coronel came back off the grass for 2nd. Nate Berton on the inside in his yellow Audi for 3rd. Gilles Magnus around the outside for 4th, followed by Nicky Katzberg. It was a disaster for Girolami. And in 9th place, points leader Erlaché, limiting the damage. Coronel squeezing past the leader ahead at the beginning of lap 9. First time he's led since winning here a few years back. And Gilles Magnus queuing up to have a go at Guerrieri as well, down into turn 1. The Audi clearly with the grip advantage. And then Girolami battling with Jean-Carl Vernet. Tight into turn 1, he drifts out wide, desperately tries to shut the door. Too late, there's contact and a huge accident for Néstor Girolami. Vernet was powerless to do anything about it as the Argentine chopped across and hit his nose and then the barriers hard. Mercifully, he was okay. And after the safety car came out for clear-up, Tom Coronel was able to cruise to the finish line to take his first touring car win since 2016.
You know, this is a long time ago. I knew I had a big chance here. We have always been fast here. In 2013 we won the race with Royal Motorsport with the BMW. I know, you know, to save the tire, this is I think the trick at this track.
Luckily for the absent Girolami, race 3 didn't see his main rivals take advantage of his absence. The last Slovakian race highlighted by the performance of Nicky Katzberg, who'd led race 1 in mixed conditions. But in the weekend of firsts, he too claimed his first ever WTCR win ahead of Audi drivers poleman Berton and rookie Magnus. At mid-season then, despite a tough weekend, Jan Erlaché still led 20 points ahead of Coronel, the big winner in Slovakia. Esteban Guerrieri only 5th, 34 points behind the leader, Girolami 40 adrift. A week after Slovakia, FIA WTCR back in action, less than 200 kilometers away at the Hungaroring. Home soil for Norbert Michelisz, of course, but also for rookie Bence Boldic, showing his potential on the track that he knows well, where he's taken his first race, his first podium and his first win, and his first WTCR pole for race 2, thanks to the reverse top 10 system. Great news for local team Zengo. Good news for Honda too, who had 4 cars in Q3 with another local, Attila Tashi, setting the second fastest time. But the fastest of them all, Esteban Guerrieri, already on pole for race 1. He also took pole for race 3. A great day for the all-Incal crew. Cold and dry for the start of race 1 in Budapest. Attila Tashi nervously awaiting the start. Away from the start, Esteban Guerrieri holding the lead from Jan Erlaché, Ivan Muller in third, as 96 Mikel Ascona gets swallowed up mid-pack. Great start from the 2 Lynk & Co drivers, but Nestor Girolami battling hard. Girolami diving through on Ivan Muller to grab third position on lap 2, catching the veteran Frenchman by surprise. And Muller then with Attila Tashi right behind. Erlaché meanwhile piling the pressure on Guerrieri, having to watch his back door with Girolami right there too.
A few times in my career I haven't been really clever, so I decided this year to be a bit more clever and don't be too impatient. Of course, I had the pace maybe to do something, but then the issue was if I f up or something, I had the Bebu just behind me that would take the place, and that's point that I will lose.
Sensible philosophy. Guerrieri claimed his second win of the season, but the points leader was right behind him, and he would have a chance to take his revenge in race 2. On the DHL pole for race 2, Zengo Motorsport's young rookie Bence Boldic. No pressure though, with Ivan Muller in second and Erlaché in third on the grid. Too much wheel spin for Boldic, the nerves paying him badly, and he drops down the order as Muller takes the lead from Erlaché, with Jean-Carl Vernet leading the charge, the best of the rest in third in the Alpha. Nestor Girolami battling with Santiago Arusha down into turn 2, loses control, makes contact with Mikel Ascona, and then he gets hit in the middle of the pack. Broken suspension for Girolami. His race is over. Muller handing the lead to Erlaché and then holding off all comers.
You know, motor racing is also a team race. So yeah, I don't play for the championship. Jan is playing, so it was important to let him go straight away, to have a clear car, clear track, and to go fast.
Perfect teamwork gave Erlaché the chance to take his third win of the season, with Muller in second place. Vernet once more on the podium in third in the Alpha. And Erlaché was racking up the points.
I want to thank all the team because it's a proper team effort, and Ivan helped me a lot to get that win, and he covered my back. So it was a proper team race, team job. So this one is not my victory, it's our victory.
Team strategy would also play its part in race 3 in Hungary, but this time for Honda, with Esteban Guerrieri on pole position ahead of 3 teammates. They would have to form up ranks behind him and guard him to hold off Lynk & Co.'s Erlaché. With Jean-Carl Vernet and Mikel Ascona also in the mix as wildcards, didn't help that the Hondas made contact in the first turn. Tashi getting sideways, leaving the door open. Girolami coming through, but Verne on the outside, and Air Lachey also making their presence felt. Cold tyres on the cold track made life tricky. A flapping wheel arch liner, the portent of things to come for Esteban Guerrieri. He could already feel the vibration before the splitter started chattering at the front of the car. Could it be that it would come apart? In the end, it held together till the line, and he claimed his third win of the season.
Definitely I have to thank my teammates that they content me so much, and I managed this win. So yeah, really great teamwork, and happy to score the points and yeah, to get a win.
Vital points indeed for Esteban Guerrieri, an all-Honda podium. Guerrieri now up to second in the standings, 22 points behind Air Lachey. Sign Racing Link & Co. with allinkle.com, the only two teams in it for the team's title. Penultimate round of the championship, a new one for our WTCR drivers, Motorland Aragón in Spain. But forget it being hot and sunny. It may have been sunny, it definitely wasn't hot. Again, it was a three-race weekend. The bad news for championship leader Air Lachey is that he was 18th in Q1 and he'd start from the back of the grid with an engine change penalty. The good news, though, he was still a place ahead of Esteban Guerrieri, who was 19th. Jean-Carl Verne, 5th in the driver's standing, set the fastest time in Q3 on his birthday, but the stewards would cancel the lap as he had exceeded track limits. So in the end, pole position for race 3 went to Belgian rookie Gilles Magnus. Small consolation for Jean-Carl Verne. He would start race 1 in Spain from 3rd position. Champion Norbert Michelisz on pole position. Now, certain he would not retain his title. But again at the start, as Michelisz tried to cover off the Audi, it was Verne who swept around into the lead.
The last 7 starts I take, I really found out how it works. Just a question of coordination, and I'm working a lot on that. And it worked again, so I'm really happy. After I know that the 70% of the job was done, I just had to control the race.
As he was out front, Yann Air Lachey battling with Esteban Guerrieri down in the teens. And finally, the Link & Co driver got the better of the wayward Honda of his rival. A move that in the end would cost Guerrieri 4 spots. The Honda really looked an evil car in the cold conditions. And as Air Lachey got by, Guerrieri fought tooth and nail, perhaps just a little too much. As he drifted out wide, they all came calling. Nathaniel Berton, the first to go by. Coronel queuing up behind to have a go. And Ted Björk would be next. Going by Coronel and Guerrieri at the same time. Meanwhile, the checkered flag was out for Jean-Carl Verne. His first win of the year, moving the Frenchman up to 3rd in the points. No sooner into the battle than out of it. Jean-Carl Verne's Alpha with technical issues early in race 2. He would score 0 points. Esteban Guerrieri finished in 10th place with Yann Air Lachey in 6th. A second race that would see the first win of the season, second in WTCR for Mikel Ascona.
It's an amazing feeling here in Spain, our first podium, our first victory in 2020 WTCR. Also the first victory for Sengo Motorsport since 5 years ago.
For race 3 in Spain, Gil Magnus would start on pole position with Ted Bjerg and Santiago Arusha's blue Lincoln Co's menacingly behind him. And at the start, it was Bjerg who made the best of the getaways. The Audis not fast off the line all season long. And as Arusha swept around the outside, he made contact with Magnus. Jean-Carl Vernet followed, but Bjerg led as Arusha got back into second. Up into fourth position came Nathaniel Berton ahead, and then disaster for Nesta Girolami. His championship coming to an effective end as Luca Engstler lost his Hyundai under braking at the end of the long straight, cannoning into the Honda. Girolami, the helpless victim, the safety car was out. After clear-up operations, further back there was drama for Ivan Muller. The car going slowly down the straight, everybody, even Guerrieri, getting by him.
So far, well, fine. Okay, try to keep going. It's the sector time doesn't look so bad.
Whatever ailed Ivan Muller's car could ail the others. And it did. Jan Erlache also struggling for straight line speed. He too was unable to hold off Guerrieri. The Argentine going by. Erlache did finish the race in 12th position. Those points might yet remain critical. Out front though, it's a Lincoln Co 1-2. Ted Bjerg back on the top step of the podium. The first win of the season. Santi Arusha in second, and Gabriele Tarquini finishing third. Erlache keeping the lead, 26 points ahead of Guerrieri, 42 ahead of Vernet and Muller. A change to the calendar and the final round of FIA WTCR for 2020. Back at Motorland Aragón, but on a slightly different layout. 11 drivers could still mathematically win the title, but realistically it's a three-man fight between Jan Erlache, Esteban Guerrieri, Jean-Carl Vernet. Race 1, a cold and wet but drying track. Tyre choice again will be critical, especially for the Honda drivers who had a tough time in qualifying. Guerrieri in 16th, Girolami 11th, while Erlache was 5th and Vernet 2nd on the Race 1 grid. For the first time in his brief WTCR career so far though, it's Santiago Arusha from Uruguay who's the pole sitter. At the start, Arusha held the lead, but with a full wet weather tyre setup, Nesta Girolami from 11th on the grid was able to take the lead away before the end of lap 1. A risky, but in the end, rewarding choice also made by teammate Esteban Guerrieri, who was already up to 5th after lap 1, climbing the rankings. And on the final lap, he was able to get by Nate Berton to take 2nd spot. What looked like a gamble was really highly informed.
We came here to test in February, March, and it was similar conditions to today. No rain, but drying up. And we were like, when the hell is this going to dry up, this track, you know? So it was very long, and well, today was similar situation, very sunny. But when I went out for the warm-up laps through the pit lane, I saw cars in front of me with slicks in the rear, and they couldn't drive it. And I was with wets. And I was much quicker, so I stayed behind them and I tried to read the track, and it was like still coming some spray out from their tires. So I thought this is impossible to be quicker the slicks than the wets in the rear. So we just make the gamble, yeah, and that was the right decision.
A decision that gave the Honda drivers a huge advantage. And this time, Nesta Girolami proved there was no bad blood between him and Esteban Guerrieri. The final hairpin, the final lap, pulling over and allowing his teammate to go through for a maximum point score. Gil Magnus finishing in 3rd position, Jan Erlaché in 6th. The gap now down to 16 points. 8th at the flag. Verne now out of the title running. A 2-horse race and 2 races remaining. But Honda couldn't rely on the weather to save them for race 2. It was dry and sunny, if not hot. From 18th on the grid, Esteban Guerrieri knew that only a miracle could keep his title hopes alive. Erlaché 9th on the grid, with Uncle Ivan on pole. But could the frailty of the previous Aragón weekend return under the bonnet of Lynk & Co? That was Honda's only hope, but the miracle did not happen. 4-time World Touring Car champion kept the lead at the start. Magnus and Mikulic behind them. Erlaché took no chances, dropping to 10th as Guerrieri parked.
Hairpin, and the cars in front of me, they were fighting, and there is this kink easy flat out to the right, and they kind of tangle 2-3 cars in front, and Boldish like brakes twice to try to avoid or something, I guess, and I just tried to avoid him in front of me, but I just couldn't, and yeah, I broke the front bumper and the splitter and so on. So I had to DNF, so that was basically it.
Guerrieri out of the hunt. Erlaché now just having to finish in the top 6 to be crowned champion, with Lynk & Co also lining up the team's title. Ivan Muller still comfortably out front ahead of Verne and Magnus. And surely nothing could go wrong now. But something can always go wrong. And Nesta Girolami proved it. He had an engine let go on lap 8. The safety car would be deployed. Final lap, checkered flag for Ivan Muller. He wins the race. Erlaché wins the title.
And finally there is a little Ivan who won the fucking championship. Very good job. Good job.
Despite chronic vibrations and worries about finishing the race, Ivan took the win. Erlaché took the title. And Lynk & Co were champions again.
I don't feel anything anymore now. It's absolutely insane. As I say always, it's just a dream coming true. I started racing really late, and that was definitely the goal since I'm young. I remember when I was a child going into the city when Ivan got all this title, and now it's me. I'm super proud and super happy.
A fantastic family story. As important to Uncle Ivan as it was to Jan.
I never imagined when I had him on my shoulder, when I was already a racing driver, and then when he asked me, he said, I want to race. I said, okay, I help you, but you have to trust me. You have to do as I tell you, and you have to be better than I was. And he is, and he did the job.
He picked me and he teach me everything from zero. I've never drove any go-kart, anything, and 7 years ago I was not even in a race car, and now we are world champion, and it's unbelievable.
I think I am more happy than when I was champion myself. I think I didn't cry when I was champ, but I did before in the car, and I am at the limit right now.
Perfect ending for the young Frenchman as Lynk & Co take the team's title. Jan Erlaché, the WTCR driving champion. And Ivan Muller finishing in 2nd in the standings, 1 point ahead of Jean-Carl Verne, makes it a Sign Racing Lynk & Co. But the Alpha driver clinches the WTCR trophy title for non-manufacturer supported drivers.
That was the first target of the season, make sure that we clinched the trophy, and we made it. So it's really happy for the team, really proud of what we achieved all together. We had tough competitors to fight against, and no, I think we can already be proud, and I am proud of the guys and all the work we made.
And the rookie of the season, man who was supposed to be in TCR Europe, thanks to RACB, the Belgian national sporting government, Gilles Magnus, 13 class wins from 16 starts. It was a tough year with a COVID pandemic, but the WTCR family brought once more a season of rich, suspenseful, tough battling right to the final race of the year. And if nothing else, that has got to make you look forward to 2021. We'll see you there.